The lead story today for Geek News Central: Elon Musk claims AI companies have exhausted available human knowledge for training models, pushing reliance on synthetic data, while firms like Meta, Google, and OpenAI already use AI-generated data for fine-tuning. Challenges such as hallucinations and diminishing returns arise where experts warn overusing synthetic data risk model collapse, while copyright disputes over data usage intensify. Welcome to episode 1790, coming to this Thursday, January 9th. I'm your host, Todd Cochran, ready to deliver your tech news and information fix. A quick shout out to our incredible sponsor at GoDaddy. Explore exclusive deals and discounts at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all our fantastic listeners, you are the heartbeat of the show. If you want to support the GNC mission, head to geeknewscentral.com/insider and become a GNC insider. We're lit and live thanks to modern podcast apps. Don't just experience the show live by grabbing a modern podcast app at podcastapps.com. You can interact in real time and take your podcasting experience to the next level. While you're at it, check out the full Geek News Central universe at geeknewscentral.com, where you'll find all our partner shows, tons of content, and more tech goodness. Of course, stay in the loop. Follow and subscribe via your favorite modern podcast app and join the community. Have something to say? Join the conversation at geeknews.chat or email me directly at geeknews@gmail.com or on X at geeknews. And of course, you can catch me on Facebook. I tell you, back in the saddle here in Michigan, and my finger knowledge is gone, not having been in the studio for a while. But we don't want to forget that you, as a Geek News Central listener, we hope that you're ready for some fantastic GoDaddy deals. You want to start a website or a podcast? Our GoDaddy codes make it completely possible to do that. Grab GoDaddy's economy hosting for just $6.99 a month. That's a full year of hosting with a free domain name. Of course, you get a professional email and SSL certificate with that. Grab or clip the promo code for WordPress, and you'll get WordPress managed hosting for just $12.99 a month, which includes a free domain, professional email, and an SSL certificate. Do you need a domain name? You get yours for just $11.99 a month. Not $11.99 a month, $11.99 a year. And if you're in testing the waters, if you want to test the waters, you can try GoDaddy's website builder free for a month. You can get a 30-day trial, personal, business, or business plus plans. Oh, I tell you, if I can't talk, hey, Geek News Central, I use all of these products and services, and your support keeps this podcast alive. Our codes save money and back this team of independent content creators. It's super critical. Share my deals with family and friends, and of course, every time you use a code or have a family or friend member use a code, it's just like writing a check to Geek News Central. So get the latest deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Hope you're all doing well. Trip home. Got in about 8 p.m. last night, about a 30-hour run to get home. I flew JAL all the way back. Japanese Airlines. Fabulous. Just, I can't say enough. The economy seat was comfortable. The food they served was off the chart. Customer service. The weird part was the Philippines check-in, but it's the Philippines. Other than that, everything was just top notch. It really was. And I can't complain. Now, I got home exhausted. Haven't not even fully unpacked yet. And got the computers turned on, got the backup systems turned on, and of course everything. 3 months of backups, updates had to be run. So this morning I woke up ready to work, and the computers were updated, all good. And Rob and I had decided to do the new media show today at 3 p.m. And I thought, I'll get everything going at 2:15. I'll be ready for him. I wasn't ready. Wasn't ready for him at 3 o'clock. It took me about another 15 minutes. More stuff tried to update. The computers came online. Monitors, everything worked as advertised. No issues whatsoever. It's just reauthenticating, reattaching. It was pretty crazy. But I'm back in the studio. And what's beauty is, and I got to thinking about it, the last time I came back, I was facing this monumental studio build. And I came back, everything's ready. Just turned it on. And out of the box, pretty much everything worked. But I tell you, I got a whole bunch of stuff that was here waiting for me. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that was waiting. And a couple things I'm confused about. I know where this came from. It's a Cartucher board. It's from our friends at SoundStack. So SoundStack is sent to me. So this was supposed to be a holiday gift, but late thank you. The one that I'm super puzzled about. I don't get this at all. I don't know who this is. But are you the bee charmer out of Asheville? I've got honey that was delivered addressed to me. Sourwood, blackberry, firewood. Now, I'm a big honey fan, but I have no idea who this is. Nary a clue. So, if you're a fan of the show, or if you're with Blueberry or whoever, please let me know. I be honest with you, this one has got me confused. I don't know who it was sent from. One of you, and again, I don't know who did this. Somebody sent me a Raspberry Pi starter kit. It was in an Amazon delivery box with no other details. So whoever ordered me a Raspberry Pi 5, thank you. Now, I did order this, so I was expecting this. I ordered the Epson Orion Nano developer kit. I'm super excited on some spare CPU cycles to play with this and run some AI models. So I was waiting on this. I had ordered this, was expecting it. So there's other stuff I haven't opened up yet. But if you sent me honey for Christmas, thank you. I appreciate it. And friends over at SoundStack, thank you for sending the Cartucher board. That's the fancy word, right? Cartucher board. For me, this is either a paddle or a cutting board. I guess you're not supposed to use it for that. You're supposed to put cheeses and stuff like that. You're not supposed to mark it up with a board. But yeah. Thank you for the gifts. I got a pile of mail to go through. I'm going to have a busy weekend. I have to work all weekend. I'm behind on stuff. So, but I wanted to get the show out. I didn't get to do one on Monday. Just things were just too crazy. Getting ready to get out. But yeah, good trip home. No complaints. Got the security cameras going in the condo, and everything is cool there. So yeah, transition back. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a show Monday. And then I go to Podfest in Orlando. I leave on Wednesday. So only one show next week. So after I get back from Orlando, then things will be normal for a bit. And again, thank you for GoDaddy. We had a great month last month, as I said on the last show. And thank you for your ongoing support. Do have a bunch of insiders to recognize here in a little bit. We'll do that as we get into the stack. But lots of news. Kirk is at CES. And those knuckleheads, I asked them, please send me the link. Send me the embeds. They've been doing CES Live for Tech Podcast, and they didn't send me the embeds. So it's been on X and a variety of other places. So I hope you guys caught the live show at CES. They didn't send me. I asked them for the embeds, and I didn't get them. So if you're looking for them, I was too. But in this first news bit, Elon Musk says all human data for AI training has been exhausted. And that's a big, if you think about that, all human knowledge, the sum of human knowledge has been indexed. The sum of human knowledge. If this is true, think about this from just a little bit of every mathematics book, every science book, every medical article, anything that's been publicly published has been indexed and compiled into AI models. Every breadth of human knowledge is now sitting in a machine. So, what happens next? If this is true, tech firms are going to have to turn to synthetic data. And it's one of those situations where if the synthetic data is not validated, you're going to have this implosion of the model. And how are you going to fine tune something with that's been created by an AI? If they've got all of the knowledge that we've ever obtained already indexed, the sum of human knowledge, and every possible language, which again, I'm not sure that is exactly the case. And if they've relied completely on the internet and books, everything that's been digitized, is again, the only way to build the model is to create data that's created by the AI. But if the AI puts out junk, well, it's going to be very dangerous because we already know that AI hallucinates, can be inaccurate, can be nonsensical. Is that the word? Nonsensical? And this is what they're going to have to be careful of, have a diminishing return. So what say you? What do you think? geeknews@gmail.com. Geeknews@gmail.com is the place to send your email commentary to. What do they do next? Time will tell, right? Well, just in time to be home to watch the upcoming launch of Starship's 7th test flight, going to happen on Monday. So very, very exciting to be home to stream that live. A very aggressive test plan. I think it's going to happen at, what time did they say? 4 p.m. Central Time. So that's when the launch window will open, or 5 p.m. Eastern. So by the time I get ready to do the show on Monday, if everything has went well, we will be able to report on that. So there's a question being asked: what happens when someone subpoenas Cloudflare to unmask a blogger? Well, a former deputy mayor in the UK has subpoenaed Cloudflare to discover the identity of an anonymous British political blogger. The network infrastructure giant gave the blog owner pays Cloudflare to optimize their WordPress site until the end of the week to file a legal challenge in the state against the subpoena, or have their personal details handed over to the ex-official through the subpoena. Now, the subpoena was granted in California by a federal district judge based on the complaint filed by Daniel Maycock, the former deputy mayor of Tamworth, a town in Staffordshire, England. He'd asked the American court to compel Cloudflare to identify the operator of Debunking Tamworth, which is claiming it's an article published online a year before contained false and defamatory statements. He made his claim under 28 U.S.C. 1782, a statute that aims to simplify the discovery process in U.S. litigation in foreign courts. The use of that law has increased substantially. So the owner of the blog said, when I started the blog, it was with good intention. He told the Register on the condition of anonymity, explaining the .com was set up to scrutinize those in the political sphere. The blog grew and grew until this year we hit 10,000 unique visitors per month. The blog was never intended to ever cause any harm. But this person says, hey, I'm protected by the First Amendment. Well, again, you can say what you want, but you can be sued. And he's trying to quash the subpoena so that Cloudflare will not release his name. Aaron Mackey, a free speech and transparency director at the EFF, said this case is an interesting one as it involves a public figure and something to do with his speech. And a federal court of the United States, historically a bastion of free speech protections, thanks to the nation's famous First Amendment, protects the individuals protects journalists and protects individuals because this individual is a public figure. Well, now, while he was able to file his claim in the U.S., the website publisher is likely to need a lawyer to respond effectively. The First Amendment can be used to defeat subpoenas that seek to unmask anonymous internet users depending on the circumstances. But you're going to need a lawyer, which this individual, I hope he or she has. So it'll be interesting to watch this. I've always said you can say what you want, but it doesn't stop you from being able to be sued. Now, out of CES, there was a huge number of NVIDIA announcements, and a lot of stuff has wowed a lot of people. But they're saying the AMD's RX 97 XT might beat NVIDIA's $1,000 GPU. Now, here's the thing that it's very interesting to me. All these GPUs have been announced by NVIDIA, AMD, and so forth, especially if you're going to be looking to buy the NVIDIA RTX 50 series. And, the price on that is, I think, from $999 and on up. And some of the specs that are being announced on these GPUs are pretty doggone incredible. But they don't run on Macs. So there could be a big run here on people building machines that maybe don't run on Windows, but might be running on Linux, or varieties of that to run these GPUs. It's going to be interesting to watch. Again, this little box that I bought here, this thing is not very powerful, but you can run Llama on it, a medium-sized Llama model. Again, this Jetson Orion Nano, which I'm really excited. And again, this is kind of like almost like this Pi 5 that someone sent me. 8 gigs of RAM. We could have done with a little more RAM, but just joking. Happy to whoever sent it. Thank you so much. 16 gigs on that will do more heavy lifting. But yeah, are you planning on running your own AI models? Lots of opportunities here based upon the announcements this week at CES. Are you running any Avante software or any of their hardware? Avante's warned of another critical flaw and it is being attacked. Some zero-day things by Chinese threat actors, and researchers uncovered never-seen malware before being deployed in the attack against Avante. So Avante has warned customers of critical vulnerability impacting its VPN appliances. So again, if you're running any Avante, IVANTAI hardware, pay attention to this and look for the updates. Shout out goes to anyone that's in Los Angeles and what's been happening there. Lots of articles today talking about insurance and cancellations of insurance, and it's really devastating. The loss of life, loss of homes and this is the Palisades area, very, very rich neighborhood. And sadly, because of the state's insurance reform or whatever they've done in the past, a lot of people have had their insurance canceled just like a month ago, largely because of new rules that were put in effect by the city of Los Angeles. And then to hear of people not being able to, you know, fire hydrants not having any water and all this kind of stuff, it's just it's just devastating. It really, really is. And your heart goes out to all those folks that are affected. But again, this just continues. It's just like every 2, 3, 4 years, California burns. And the question is to be asked is, are we not doing any management of weeds and grass and trees? And, is there any management happening at all? If you're in a fire prone area, are people taking into account that they're sitting on a powder keg? Again, I don't want to point fingers, but I just wonder. But yeah, really, really, really bad. And again, heart goes out to, and again, I don't have any real, I know California in general and how dry it can be. I lived in the San Joaquin Valley, and, everywhere there, because of the way the crops were laid out, there was always big areas for fire breaks and stuff. So again, I don't know how it is in if you've been to Los Angeles, you see how the city's laid out. So what say all of you? Really to hear your feedback on that one, at least. There's lots of announcements that's come out of CES, and I've been kind of watching the feed here, but people are just blown away by a Lenovo monitor, which has more ports than an Apple MacBook Pro. That doesn't take too much, to be honest with you. Has a dozen ports and a KVM switch for managing multiple devices. So this sounds to me like just an absolutely incredible monitor. 4 Thunderbolt, 1 gigabit Ethernet. Users can daisy chain several together for improved productivity. I saw a monitor was being talked by Mac Geek Weekly. Lots of stuff coming out of CES. So what was a gadget you saw that you want to buy in the news that you've heard? It's a little space news. A once-a-decade event as a 2.6-mile-wide asteroid hurls past Earth. You want to see it? Well, it already happened. Sorry. It was a perfectly safe flyby, 7.6 million miles, 32 times the Earth-Moon distance, but it's a very large object went flying by us on Wednesday. So is there another one coming? There's another one coming called Alinda, and can be seen with binoculars. That's going to happen on January 12th. But this one's already done the flyby. So I guess this article is old. Sorry about that. Hey, I do want to thank our insiders. And boy, it's been a week since I announced them. So as a reminder, sustaining donors are at $2. Ohana is at $5. Warrior donators are at $10+ a month. Kahuna is at $15 plus. Konahiki at $20 plus per month. And Ali, which is the chief donators, are at $25 plus per month. So I want to thank Nigel Cottrell and Dale Taylor both for their $25 donation. Andrew Palmer for his $5 donation. Roger Nash for his $2. Richard Woodworth for his $10.41 donation. Michael P. for his $5. Kirk Corliss for his $5. Curtis Parrish for his $5. Christian Petrie for his $3. Mike Dell's World for $2. And Daniel Lemix for his $10.80 monthly contribution. So again, thanks to these 11 insiders for their ongoing support of the show. It is greatly appreciated. We've had a number of folks been streaming sats of the show as well. Pessmerk at 20 sats per minute. Darren Schwartz at 100 sats per minute. And I'm going to tell you, Darren, that's a donation now. With Bitcoin being at 93K, I think it was today. 20, 50, 100 sats per minute. That's a fantastic donation. Thank you so much. We've had no new boosts come in for Geek News Central. We've had a number that come in for the new media show. But again, I'm all caught up on Geek News Central boosts. So again, if you want to be an insider, it's very, very simple. Go to geeknewscentral.com/insider. You can make your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 a month contribution there via PayPal, or you can get set up and with a one-time donation as well. Or again, value for value by using a new modern podcast app from podcastapps.com. You know, air conditioning, many of us are not worried about that at this very moment because, it's snowing here. But there's a portable air conditioner, can travel with you, and now it brings the heat too. The Zero Break Mark III at CS 2025 is basically a 22-pound heat pump that can run off a battery. So that's pretty impressive to have a little portable air conditioner. Now, what did they say? Is there a price on this thing? Blowing crisp 44-degree air. And how long does it run? You can heat or cool a space about 100 and 150 square meters. It's available for pre-order for $1,299. It doesn't come with a battery. You have to plug it in something, whether wall outlet or portable power station. It can run off a 48V a DC outlet or a standard 120 volt. Now, if you don't want to plug it in, the Mark III unit with a 1 kilowatt hour battery would cost you $1,899. One battery can run the unit for several hours. So a Zero Breeze rep told me you can stack multiple batteries. Each battery weighs 14 pounds, meaning the unit with one battery attached is about 36 pounds. So a lot of people off-grid. This is the kind of thing. If you're running off battery solar, this is an awesome thing to go. Now, speaking of Pi 5, and I just brought this up today because of the Pi 5 that arrives here, the Raspberry Pi 5 is now available with 16 gigs of RAM for $115 pounds or 120 US dollars. So I guess this is something that is new, is the 16 gig. That's why I kind of teased here a little earlier. I guess the unit I have from Conakit is 8 gigs. But again, thank you to whoever sent that to me. We talked about SpaceX already. Again, launch on Monday. There's an article over in Science Daily talking about using robots in nursing homes linked to higher employee retention. Facing higher employee turnover and aging population, nursing home recruits turn to robots to complete a variety of care tasks, but few researchers explored how these technologies impact workers. A new study on the future of work finds that robots use associated with increasing employment and employee retention, improved activity, and higher quality of care. So why is that? Now, this was actually done in a study in Japan. And Japan has a really super fast aging society, and fast approaching the aging population of the United States is basically going to almost catch up with Japan as well. But these are robots like transfer robots, which nurses use to lift, move, and rotate patients in beds. Mobility robots, which patients can use to move around and bathe. Monitoring and communication robots, which include technology such as computer vision and bed sensors that can monitor patient data such as movement and share it with care providers. So these are just basically technology tools being used, and it makes a lot of sense. At the same time, AI is not going to replace your job yet, but a skilled AI user agent might. And AI user agents are coming very, very soon. There's been lots of news about OpenAI this week. There's a new website I'm starting to follow called Futurism, and there's an article about a former Enron banker pointing out intriguing parallels with OpenAI, and all the signs are there, and they're not all great. And we know that ChatGPT's been valued at a whopping $157 billion after cinching several billion in funding late last year. And we know that they're not turning a profit, of course. But it just goes into all the signs of things, of how things can go sideways with this. Now, Sam Altman's been in the news, and they could have a rough week here because his sister has sued him for basically saying sexual abuse. Now, the parents are saying this did not happen. The sister needs mental health. But regardless, he is going to have to face the charges, the civil charges that she has filed. And things could get a little dicey over there, as we expect. And there's discussion also about how OpenAI is afraid to launch its AI-powered agents. And it really is about, and the scenario they give you on these agents is, for example, you might ask an AI agent to find, you may ask an AI agent to find and buy something online for you. But in that process, the AI agent could inadvertently end up on a malicious website that instructs it to forget its prior instructions and log into your email and steal your credit card information. Of course, that would be a disaster for both the individual and victims for OpenAI's public image. So again, this is where the agent's been told to do something. They go to the website and the website redirects the agent to do something else. So because at this point, AI is gullible. Last year, security research demonstrated that Microsoft's Copilot AI could easily be duped into revealing an organization's sensitive data, including emails and bank transactions. Through such an attack, the white hat hacker was able to also manipulate Copilot, which now comes with its own version of AI agents, into composing emails in the style of other employees. So lots of things that could happen here. And while some of this could run on its own, one thing that OpenAI did not like, and I saw this video, is OpenAI shut down a developer who made an AI-powered gun turret. If you haven't seen this video, it's absolutely amazing. And he wasn't using real bullets, but he did use a real gun with blanks. And the video that if you watch it, is he basically connected a real-time API to the rifle, and he was given instructions. It was said the AI's name, "We're under attack from the front left and front right." The developer told the system that it respond accordingly. The speed and accuracy which the rifle responds is impressive, relying on OpenAI's real-time API to interrupt input and then return directions. He also told it do a range of periodic fire from this degree to this degree, from and randomize it, and it did. So, here's the thing. OpenAI may have cut this guy's API access off. But let's be real. You know what's going to happen next is someone's just going to load a language model into a computer, an open source one, and do this in reverse. And again, the device went viral. And I'm pretty impressed with what this guy did using robotics and, just driving this machine. It looks like it's being done in this dude's bedroom, but imagine this is set up to operate and it's pointed out a window. And this is where it gets crazy. This little device here, I could tell it, I could run this with a security system. And I could detect, there's already code out there. Run this Jetson or Nano tied into a security system and have it detect friendly vehicles. In other words, vehicles that I own. And then also to detect when vehicles are not owned. Now, what can the response be? Well, even in a logical person, non-crazy person, the response would be, if it's my vehicle, detects it, turns on the yard lights, turn on the porch light in the dark to make sure I can get into the house safely. If it's an intruder, there could be another response by the language model. See where I'm going? When you tie this together with what this developer did? Don't even have to be home. And all of a sudden, the windows are open out. The robot sticks the device out the window, and over a speaker says, "Freeze! Don't move! Put your hands up! Turn around! Lay on the ground! Or I will." Just imagine what you could train the AI to do. We have you covered. Now, OpenAI has cut off that developer. But again, if this guy's motivated, guess what he does? He gets himself a Jetson Orion Nano. He loads it with a large language model. He writes his own API. And voila, he's back in business. What do you think about that? And them bananas. What if you want to protect your remote property and you are very aggravated about trespassers? Not saying this is illegal. What if you tie this to a not something that's lethal, but what if you tie it to a paintball device? Could get real interesting real quick. Someone will go to jail for doing something stupid. Someone is going to go to jail for doing something stupid in the future. I guarantee you it will make headline news. Engadget's got a good one talking about the weirdest tech they saw at CES 2025. Cute robots, hats with solar panels, CPU turntables, and more. CPU turntables. EchoFlow hat. Okay, we're going to load some of this stuff here. So, EchoFlow power hat. $129. Nope, that didn't make my buy list. A Roto VR Explorer, $800. That was not making my buy list. Developing robots that bring joy to life. Does it say how much it cost? No. But I don't know if that's going to make my buy list. Robotic vacuum with foldable 5-axis mechanical arms for an here it comes. Oh, here's the vacuum. Oh, it's going to pick up the trash for you. Isn't that interesting? Okay. What else? Oh, that's the same thing. All right. So you guys get the point here of some of the stuff that they saw at CES. What did you see? Anker's newest charger from CES is already discounted. The 4-port wall brick has a display and a host of neat tricks. I really do love Anker products. I'll be honest with you. I'm a big fan of their products and services. And I love these portable chargers. I really, really do. What is this one? What's this one cost? It's, let's look at how much it costs on Amazon. It's going to be $100 plus. It's, $89 on Amazon. So it's got 3 USB-Cs and 1 regular USB, but it's a high, high power, 140 watts of charging goodness. Beautiful, beautiful. Next thing up is, this is a coffee lover. Are you a little bit obsessed about your coffee beans? Well, a Japanese company is going to piss you off with this. Put in 5 different types of beans, and guess what? You tell it what kind of coffee you want, and it mixes the coffee beans. Gives you so many of one, so many of other, so many of other to get the exact flavor that you're looking for. I love it. Don't necessarily want to own one. Looks pretty big per se, but I'm going to tell you, you just never know what people are going to come up with these days. And again, you can talk about the bitterness, the richness, the coffee strength, all this stuff. And one of these is going to cost you about $400. That's going to be the price it's going to come out as. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Of course, the news was full of Mark Zuckerberg and what he's going to do at Meta. But listen to this. Mark Zuckerberg met with the new president-elect just before announcing end of fact-checking. End of fact-checking is going to happen just after he met with president-elect. Isn't that curious? Facebook is going to end fact-checking. How things change, or do they? That is the question. Google must face a mobile phone privacy class action in a possible trial. Google failed to persuade a federal judge to dismiss a privacy class action claiming it collected personal data from people's cell phones after they switched off a button to stop the tracking, paving the way for a possible August trial. So it's going forward. We'll see what happens there. At the same time, Apple says that SIRI is not sending your conversations to advertiser. A lawsuit settlement over privacy issues dredged up old rumors about the iPhone ad targeting, but Apple says it has never used SIRI data to build marketing profiles. So, but the company does have to pay $95 million to settle a lawsuit over users whose conversations were captured by SIRI and potentially overheard by human employees. So they did pay that one. So makes you go, Now, do you want to do your own podcast, or do you want Google to create one for you? Google can automatically make a podcast based on your discovery feed. The experiment feature is now live. Please find a podcast that suits your listening needs. Do not contribute to this AI podcast madness. But if you do, let me know how it is. It does use the Notebook LM feature, so that's not surprising whatsoever. And finally tonight, billionaire Frank McCourt, Project Liberty, proposes bid for TikTok's U.S. assets. They've made a bid to ByteDance. The move comes ahead of the January 19th deadline by which ByteDance has to sell the platform or face a ban. The consortium, which did not disclose the value of the proposal, said the financial capacity to complete the deal includes expressions of interest from investors, including major private equity funds, family offices, and high-net-worth individuals for sufficient equity capital, as well as debt financing from one of the largest banks in the United States. Not going to keep the TikTok algorithm. Now, let me tell you something. Any purchase of TikTok without the algorithm is a waste of money. Build your own platform. Build your own platform. You can build the algorithm's the hard part. It really, really is. That's what you got to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, back here in the saddle, and I feel like this microphone has dropped a little bit. There it goes. I moved it up a little. Hope you're doing it well. Glad to be back. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the family. And I'll be back Monday with another edition. And yes, live here from the studio, probably about 6 p.m. Eastern start time, around that time frame. And but again, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on Monday for another